Today I'm going to be making a bread recipe. We've got almond meal, which is a great base. We've got some quinoa flakes. This is going to help bind it. If you've got any sort of aversion to any of these ingredients, you leave them out and you figure out a substitute, or you can find some on my website. We've got some psyllium husk, another great binder, but also full of fiber. So while this is a fairly protein-rich bread, that's sort of going to even things out and aid with digestion. We've got some almonds, some pepitas, and some sunflowers. If you want to sort of soften these a little bit, you can activate them overnight by soaking them in water before you bake your bread. We've got some chia seeds in water, so they're already kind of like a jammy consistency. So they're already doing the job of helping bind our bread. Similarly, the flax seeds have also sort of taken up, absorbed all that water, become a bit jelly-like, and they're gonna help bind our bread. One of the best things about this bread is that you don't have to wait for it to rise or to prove or anything like that. You mix it all, you put it in the tin, and you bake it. We've got some apple cider vinegar here. It acts as a bit of a preservative, but we also know that it's great for our gut, so really good. We've got some coconut oil. We've got a little pinch of salt. I actually like a little bit more. And now we've got 4 eggs. It's a good habit to be in, to crack each one in case there's anything wrong with it or in case you get any shell before putting it into whatever you are making. That's it. We got everything in there. We're gonna mix it, bring it together, and then we are going to put it in our pan. If you don't really like a super chunky bread mixture, if you want all of your bits sort of fine and mimicking a wholemeal or a white loaf, you can blitz them or grind up your nuts and seeds so that they're sort of a similar texture to the almond meal. Turn over to my trusty wooden spoon because it's got a little bit more oomph. And this is a rather dense bread. So I've preheated my oven to 180. This is going to take somewhere between 35 and 45 minutes. Just like with anything, I'm not in your home, so you sort of have to adjust according to your own equipment. My oven is fairly efficient, but this is a rather big loaf of bread and quite dense. So I want to wait for it to be a little bit hollow when you knock it in a nice brown color. Somewhere between 35 and 45 minutes, but don't be afraid if you have to go a little bit longer or if you need to take it out a bit earlier. So I've got a silicone loaf tin here with a seed in it. You can use any of your favorite loaf tins. If it needs to be greased and lined first, make sure you do that because it's always going to be easier to get whatever you're baking out of that tray. Because it does hold its shape fairly well, we want to make sure that when we slice it, we've got a nice bread shape, and you want it to be able to fit into your toaster. That is it. We're going to put it into the oven, put a timer on for 35 minutes, we'll give it a bit of a check, and if it needs another 10, we'll put it back in.